I know. So some of our women began to move up the corporate ladder. Some of them began to own their own businesses. I'm driving everybody crazy. I will push you. You can't sit around me and sit idle. I'll push you to your max. So many of them are breaking into their own businesses. Those who are in the corporate world are climbing up. Follow me. I want to share something with you. So one of the women, God shot her up to a very big position. And I was there on the day they honored her to that next level. But about 2-3 months later, I called her husband just to say, hello, how are you, sir? And he said, Reverend Sam, I'm not happy. I said, what was that? He said, well, look at my wife now, since she became this new thing. He said, she doesn't even have time for me anymore. It's just big people. All these big men, they are the ones she's connecting with. And truly speaking, her relationship networks changed. And so I called her. I said, hello, ma, you are aware that your husband is not happy? She said, for what? She says that is his own problem. I said, come here. I said, that's not his own problem. I said, it's your problem. And she said, but sir, how, sir? Am I going to shrink myself because of him? I said, nobody says you should shrink yourself. I said, I want to ask you a question. Who were you when you married your husband? She said, I was a graduate. I said, what was your husband? She said, he was a regional manager of a bank. Oh, I said, so your husband was well placed than you did. I said, so you grew in his house, right? She said, yes. I said, whether you grew up in his house or you were great before he married you, I said, here's something I want to say to you. I said, was your mother as great as you are? She said, no, my mother was just an average wife. I said, good. I said, so your mother did not prepare you to be a great wife. She prepared you to be a wife. Two different things. So we are having a major challenge today, and it's important that mothers, this was what I was discussing with Mommy Adejumo. I said mothers in Zion, like Mama O, need to begin to prepare for another. You know, the former disaster was poverty. The new epidemic we're going to be having is greatness not being managed, resulting in the damage of marriages. And whether you like it or not, you know I'm telling you the truth. I know. So the new disaster, now because you see, let me say this. Poverty conceals character. Don't say any woman is humble until she's prospered. Poverty conceals what? It conceals character. The same thing with a man. Don't say a man is humble when he's broke. He has no choice. It is a long road for a man who is broke. It's a long road for him to be proud. His poverty will be for a long time. So we are having a new challenge now. Women are moving into a position of greatness. The challenge is, I always say to my wife, I say, sweetheart, I say your mother did not prepare you for the level God has brought us to now. And I say to her, my father did not prepare me for the level I am in now. My father prepared me to be a man, but not to be a great man. And my father could never have told me how a great man should love a wife. That's why when our men become great and they have money, they don't know how to handle you again. Because their level of exposure is way beyond managing the small woman that you are. It takes training for a great man to manage the same wife. And it takes training for a great woman to stay with the same man she used to be with. No, just think about it. When you became a managing director, did anybody call you and say, ma'am, now that you're a managing director, there's a way to relate with your man, because there's going to be ego conflict. Did you hear what I said? There's going to be ego conflict. Whether you like it as a woman, the moment your position changes, something requires that you are treated that way. Have you noticed when you are coming to fellowship, something inside you is telling them they should take me somewhere. There's a way they should treat me. Have you noticed that? Even the house of God, there's something inside you that wants you to be treated differently. And it takes the wisdom of God for you to leave office as an MD, as a director, a PAMSEC. It takes the grace of God to walk out of your office and leave that cap in the office. Sorry, I'm not going there. I just wanted to make a statement. So this one that you already said. So I just said that to say that I think one woman that I've seen that, you know, has moved into positions of greatness and still finds a place to manage her marriage without damaging it because of greatness is Pastor O. Would you be honor her? Amen. I thank you all, the leaders, the senior women of God in the house. I honor you all. Thank you for allowing me. I come from Gwarimpa village, and once in a while, honestly, once in a while, when people like us from the village come to the city, we are amazed. When we see bridges, we are surprised, you know. And then we see all the cars you people are using. Once in a while, we are always excited when God uses you to bring us out of the bush into the city. Thank you so much. I don't take this for granted. Please help me celebrate them so that they can be bringing us from the bush. Amen. All right, just one verse of scripture will be done. Stand to your feet. Let's honor God's word. Do we have the Passions Translation? Songs of Solomon chapter 2 verse 15. If you have the Passions Translation, I would really appreciate it. Songs of Solomon chapter 2 verse 15. If you don't have it, I will read. Just put any version you have. But if you have Songs of Solomon, I will appreciate it. Oh, you are such an amazing. You are Gen Z compliant. Okay. All right. Let's go together after the count of 2. 1, 2, go. You have to read this very loud and clear because it's what God is giving you an assignment. Okay, do it this way. Read it for your neighbor. She really needs this message today. You are all right. This message is not for you, it's for your neighbor. Give her an assignment. Oh yeah, point at her. Oh yeah. 1, 2, go. I'm sure we can close. Did you get the message? You will read it with a different understanding. This is the lover telling his beloved, okay? So I want you to see that this is your husband. This is your husband to be sending you this message, all right? Okay, sorry. This is that woman's husband. So you want to read the message to her. Tell her what her husband is saying. The husband sent you to tell her. Can we do that? All right, let's do it. 1, 2, go again loudly. Did you hear what the Bible says? It says you must catch what? What did the Bible call them? Foxes, right? And how big are they? Say it again. Little things cause big damages in marriages. The latest cause of marital breakdown, when you meet the couple in the court and you hear why they are going apart, you'll be shocked. Little things unattended to. Madam, That little thing your husband is talking about, stop ignoring it. Young lady, that thing that everybody keeps talking about and you keep ignoring may be the reason you will remain unmarried for life. This little thing you are playing with may soon make somebody get divorced at 35 years of being married. I never knew. I used to think that once you cross 5 years in marriage, 7 years, I used to think that once you cross 10 years in marriage, you're home and dry. Check Abuja. Latest divorces are from 18, 20. I don't know if I'm making points here. 18, 20, 25, 27, 32. Nobody is safe again. And you know the sad part? It's happening to people who pray. It's happening to ministers. I was somewhere out of the country recently, and a church that I went to preach, a very big church in the city, I went there to preach recently, just about a year ago. And somebody called me and said, Reverend Sam, are you aware that so the pastor of that place is divorced? I said, who? I said, no, I was here. He said, sorry sir, it happened just within the last short time or whatever. I said, what? And I called my wife. I said, sweetheart, did you remember 2 years ago I was coming out of the bathroom and the Lord said to me, said, son, get ready. There shall be high profile divorces in the body of Christ. And they are happening left and right. And when I asked them, I said, why, what is happening? What just happened? They said, no sir, it didn't just happen. Listen to what I'm hearing. I'm hearing, Reverend Sam, it's been a long time. The marriage ended a long time. We're waiting for the children to grow. You will hear husbands saying, Reverend Sam, it is because of my ministry and the danger of what will happen to my ministry, because Nigeria was not accepting of divorced pastors. But Nigerians are okay with divorced pastors now. Yes. In fact, when you divorce, your church will grow. Because all of a sudden, women, you will now see young ladies coming. Because everybody is positioning to be next mama. Hello, ma. Look up, mama, look up. I want to talk to you, ma. Your replacement is in your church. So you better keep your marriage steady. Your replacement is where, ma? In your church. All the ones that I know in the last 3 years, the people that have replaced the wives are members of the church. In some cases, people that the women brought to help them at home. I don't know if you are ready for me this morning. Maybe I think I should change the message. This will be a week of sunshine. Yeah. Are we ready for this? I want to talk to you about little foxes that destroys relationships and marriage. Little foxes that destroys relationships and marriages. You may be seated in God's presence. Marriages don't collapse overnight. Did you hear what I said? Marriages don't collapse overnight. It's a gradual process. Somebody wasn't given attention. Somebody wasn't giving attention to it, and eventually something will happen one day that will eventually lead to the final collapse of the marriage. Relationships don't die in one day. Marriages don't collapse overnight. Relationships don't break in one day. What kills marriages and brings them down, usually they are not very solid, fierce winds. No. Little things that eats up the marriage from within. Little things that eats up the marriage from within. And you know something about termites? I will never forget. I was in Ikeja Cantonment several years ago. And one of the days, there's this tree, very tall tree. We came close to the tree, and we were just on our own. And all of a sudden, there was a little bit of a wind. It was in the afternoon, just little wind. And we literally watched the tree fall. From outside, everything was okay. Just a little wind and the tree fell. And we're like, what happened? How did this kind of a huge tree, how did it fall? So we all went close to the tree out of curiosity. I learned a very, very powerful lesson that will never leave me since that day. This is over 30 years. That was the day I learned how to give attention to the most important thing in my life. Because the tree was looking beautiful outside, adorable outside, pedicured and manicured outside. If I'm going to use a feminine language, the tree had all the weave-ons, all the acrylic fingers, everything, extended eyelashes. The tree had everything. I'm telling you, precious tree, everything looking together. So we went close to the tree to check up what really went wrong. And you know what? Somebody said, come close, come close. And as we got close, somebody said, look inside. I said, look inside where? They said, look inside the tree. And as we looked inside, guess what? We found that inside was totally hollow. And guess what we found inside? Termites. So whilst the tree was being celebrated outside, termites were finishing it inside. Follow me carefully. Termites were emptying the tree from within, but the tree was looking celebrated on the outside. I don't know what is eating you inside, but you are being celebrated outside. We live in an artificial generation. We live in a generation that is no longer authentic. Originality is a thing of the past. Impression is a new currency. The assignment of everyone now is to impress everybody. So when we come to fellowship like this, it's about to use my car to impress you, use my wigs to impress you, when I need to tell you, sister, pray for me. I grew up in the praying church. I grew up with a mother who would drag me to church. At age 6, my mother would teach me how to fast 40 days. And one of the things that I learned from my mother is that I would see my mom, she would get close to another woman who is having a need, and they will share their needs, and you will see them praying together. They don't pretend with each other. But we live in a generation right now whereby I rather hear your own but not tell you my own. It's a game of pretense. The reason why some of us are surprised when some things happen is because we never saw any sign of it, because of how you carry yourself. We are in the game of courage. Carry yourself well. Package yourself. And there's no amount of packaging that you give to a pig that will turn, if you like, carry the pig and put the pig in a mansion, it won't turn a pig to a human being. So marriage is a vineyard. And it's a vineyard that requires cultivation. That is why the man in the marriage is called a husband. Because marriage is a vineyard that requires cultivation. How well cultivated the marriage is will determine how stable and healthy the marriage is. The challenge with marriages is that there are some things called little foxes that can destroy them. Not big things, not big lions, no, just little foxes. Things that looks weak, things that looks, things that we can ignore. Things that somebody keeps telling you, but you just keep ignoring the pain and the expression of the. If you are dealing with a man who particularly is a thinker, let me warn all of us here. If your husband is a thinker, be very careful. Thinkers are the most dangerous people to live with. Phlegmatic men, those who talk less and think more. Yeah. And now listen, particularly some of you don't even know it. When a thinker starts talking, you should know he's giving you his best. The sad part is that for those of us who are talking class women, or those of us who are alpha women, who are in the choleric class, who are strong-willed, women who are alpha type, who are over-mothered and under-fathered. Now the challenge with you is that when the man talks, you have a way of shutting him down. Is that why you're talking now? Is that why should even a man like you be talking about this kind of small thing? You have a way of, you have a narcissistic approach of shutting him down. Sorry, I'm rushing too many things here because of time. I'm actually looking for my, okay, is that my time? 27 minutes more, right? What is no? I'm looking, are you the one that gave me time? Okay. So watch this carefully. I need to quickly rush on some things. So when you talk to a man like that, is that okay? There's something about us. I'm trying to tell you something and you're trying to like, yeah. So gradually, I'm going to go quiet. So we enter into what you call a pseudo-peaceful environment. Then you will go and be sharing testimony. Praise the Lord. My marriage has been very peaceful. My husband has just been quiet lately. God has just created peace in our home. There's peace. Please help me celebrate what God is doing in my marriage. God is doing nothing in your marriage. Nothing. You are having a dangerous time bomb waiting to explode on a day you are not expecting. You will either come back one day and meet a note, gone for good. I left the house for you. It happened here in Abuja. The woman came back and the man left a note. He didn't take anything from the house. Left the cars, 2 cars, and carried only one that he believes belongs to him. He gave her the 2 cars, gave her the house, and carried everything in the wardrobe that belongs to him. Left a note. The house is yours. I am gone. Only for her to realize that in the last few months, he's been building another house. And he's going to start his own life separately somewhere else. What did I do wrong? He said, I have no time for explanation. Because when I was explaining, you had no time to attend to me. Increase 2 things about marriage and relationship, whether you are single or married. There are 2 things you must always increase. Increase your attraction power and increase your retention power. You must always increase. Listen, I didn't say increase and stop. No, you must consistently increase your attraction power and increase your retention power. Reverend Sam, why am I not married? Very possible because your attraction power is very low. Your head is anointed with oil, but your attraction is still very low. You carry mantle, but your attraction power is very low. This is what I do. This is my calling. Marriage is my assignment. This is what I do. So I know what I'm talking to you about by training and by calling and by experience. How can you as a single increase your attraction power? It's not a thing in the hand of God. Father God, I thank you. Lord, put upon me the oil of attraction. Haven't you wondered since the oil came on you, the attraction has not increased? Attraction power is within your custody. Why is it that my husband is no longer looking in my direction? Because attraction power is in your hands. Number 1 thing that increases your attraction power is your availability. Madam busy. Madam busy. Single sister, from house to office, office back to the house, house watching Netflix, wake up the next day, or house, office. And then if you ever branch church, you come to church, you come late or you come very early, and when you join the church service, you sit down, it's only you and the church and the message, and after that you carry your bag, you go again. No interaction. God, why is it that the year is coming to an end again? Nobody has come to marry me. Sweetheart, because you are not available. You are amazing, but you are not available. You are precious, but you are not available. Who buys a gold you can't see? Who pursues a car you can't have access to? A man stops trying when the wife continues to prove that she's unavailable. I will never forget the words of Pastor Bimbo Odukoya, late Pastor Bimbo. I was with Pastor Bimbo one day in our office, and we're just praying. She held my hand, we're praying. And after we finished praying, Pastor Taiwo's, if you've been to their office before, you know that Pastor Bimbo's office directly overlooks Pastor Taiwo's office. So Pastor Bimbo held my hand, and we finished praying, and she said to me, she said, Reverend Sam, she said, you know, I normally leave here every day 4 o'clock. I leave the office 4 o'clock before Pastor Taiwo gets home. I said, really? She said, but I don't go home. I said, why, Mama? Why don't you go home? She made a statement I will never forget. She said, whenever I leave the office, in most of the cases, I go straight to the gym. She said, I go and exercise to get my energy together. Listen to this. She said, because Pastor Taiwo must never come home to a tired wife. Pastor Taiwo must never come home to a tired wife. That it is irresponsible of me to give everybody my energy and have nothing for my own husband. Just look up. It's not you I'm talking to, it's your friends. Okay. She said, God forbid. She said, so I go to exercise myself and I get myself ready. Say, Pastor Taiwo must never tell me I need you, and I will use my mouth to say I am tired. She said, I learned to reserve my energy. Powerful words. I reserve my energy for him. Availability. Availability. There is nowhere where men are being afflicted, where men are managing pain like in the church, where men are suffering but they can't talk because of the fear that if I take a radical step, everybody is going to go against me. The same thing with the women. Women can't talk because of the fear that if I take some step, because the man is not available to. Availability is on both sides. One of the women, a manager with one of the banks here, came up to me, 3 months pregnant, and she came to me and said, Reverend Sam, I need to talk with you. I preached in their church, one big church, I won't mention the name. And she said, Reverend Sam, I need to talk with you. She said, when you were preaching, I preached on infidelity and affair that day, and I made the altar call, come and see the old pastors began to cry. The senior pastors, they began to cry. You mean this is in our church? And she said, that Reverend Sam, that day if I had come out, she said the church would scatter, because everybody knows me, how close I am to my pastor. She said, but I need to talk to you. In one of the cases, she said, sir, as I'm talking to you, I have 4 men I'm sleeping with. 4. She said, I married as a virgin. I married as a virgin, so I'm not a loose woman. She said, I became a loose woman in marriage. She said, it was condition that pushed me into it. My husband lost his job because the former president was removed. I mean, the former president lost his place. And the president that came in began to shut down most of their accounts. Now, most of us who were close to the senior man, most of us were affected. So our monies were kept in lock. She said, so I needed to make sure that my family keeps enjoying the kind of privileges we used to enjoy. Big mistake number 1. She said, I see my husband, he wakes up, there's no motivation. The man is just down every day. So she said, anytime I want to touch my husband, he said, I'm not in the mood. I'm tired. I'm tired. She said, one day she just said to herself, let me go and look for ways to raise more money so that I can support my husband. As a manager in the bank, let me go to high profile people so I can pull in money. And she went to Central Bank, met this man who was 57 years old, married man. To cut a long story short, said, Reverend Sam, that was where it all began. Just when I was handling that, another woman called me and said, sir, I need to talk with you. And she says, I hear that you are one person somebody can talk to and you're not going to be condemned. I said, you're free, come. She says, I want to tell you what happened between me. Her pastor happens to be my friend, my close friend. Beautiful holiness church. And she said, Reverend Sam, she said, my husband, if you see a husband, tall guy, no sports, fair in complexion, handsome guy. I'm telling you, man. Handsome guy, well built. He works with one of the international agencies, and so he travels a lot. She said, Reverend Sam, anytime he's coming back home, I package myself for my husband. She said the sad part is that every time he comes home, he's coming home fully tired. So she is expecting on the first day when he comes, for a man who is a thinker, he likes to recharge before he discharge. But she was expecting him to discharge on arrival. So she was expecting him to affirm her. She said she was surprised. The man just entered. She said she did her hair. The man didn't say, oh my sweetheart. She had the expectations. And the man didn't do it. He just came in, ate his food and slept. The next day morning, he didn't say anything. She went to work. She was wondering what's going on. At about 4 p.m., there is this client, a Muslim, whose office is around Beggar Roundabout. She said this particular man, Muslim, normally brings in huge money. He's one of their big clients at 4 o'clock every day. This is 4:20. She now called me and said, Alaji, what's happening? And Alaji said, okay, madam, sorry if I am not feeling very, very fine. Today, a lot of things happen. Don't worry, tomorrow I will bring them the money. She said, oh, bring tomorrow, which money? She says, don't worry, I'm coming there to pick the money by myself. And she drove there. She said, Reverend Sam, as soon as she enters the man's office, she entered the man's office. The first he said, Kai, madam, you are looking very beautiful. Va? This hair is fit to your head completely. Cool. She said, Reverend Sam, see what I have been looking for. I am given cheaply. The one I was doing it for didn't appreciate me. Number 2, she said, Reverend Sam, the next day I changed my hair. My husband said nothing. She said, when I got to the office, when it was around 3:30, I said to myself, Alaji must not come here. I want compliments. So she called Alaji. I said, Alaji, don't worry, I am actually going around. I will stop by your office to collect the money. And she got into his place. And as soon as she arrived at his place, she said, Reverend Sam, Alaji, look, madam, you are looking different today, but this one is very beautiful on you, Kuma. Listen carefully. The man was not immoral. The Alaji was just genuinely complimenting her. Not immoral. She said, Reverend Sam, I did that for 4 days. She said, the amazing thing is that every time I make a change, he notices it. She said there was this day, she was sitting, waiting for him to bring the money from where he was. He was to walk past her back. So he was to pass behind the chair. Somehow he wanted to hold the chair. His hand touched her shoulder. He did not even know. She said, Reverend Sam, it was not the devil. It was not the man. She said, I was the one that stood up. She said, I have not been touched in a long time. To cut a long story short, she became pregnant. Yes. And she carried that pregnancy to delivery. And on the day she had delivery, she called me. We prayed about it. And then she and her husband came to my office because the husband knows me. They came to greet me with the baby. The husband came to tell me that this is their baby. She was looking at me. I was looking at her. We know the secret. So we tell some people I tell people all the time, I said there are secrets I will go to the grave with. It's part of my assignment. And I said to her, have you told him? She said, Reverend Sam, not yet. She said, I'm putting structures in place in case of his reaction. So she went to get a big store in Gwarimpa in Wuse, bought the store, put everything together. It's functioning well and all of that. It's years now, she has still not told him. Availability. Your marriage can go down because you are not available. You are always not available. Sweetheart, can I touch you? I am tired. And by the way, I hope I'm free to talk a little bit here. I don't know how much liberty I have. Mama, like 5% here. Now, I don't know who taught our women. I think we need to be retaught. I don't know who taught you that when you are tired, what you should avoid is sex. Sorry, now I'm just coming from work. I am very, very tired. Hello, ma. When you are tired, lead me to the rock. When you are tired, that's when you need this ATM machine to service you. Medically, it has been proven. Medically, I'm not talking assumptions. If there are doctors here, they will tell you what I'm saying. When you are tired and you have sex, the hormones that are released into your body, when you wake up the next day, it's like you have been totally rejuvenated. Am I in the church, Abi? Sorry, the way you people are looking at me, you are making me feel as if I'm not a man of God. Like, help me touch that woman. Say, Madam, stop saying you are tired. Help me shake her up. Say, stop this attitude. God bless you. I see one woman going to meet her friends. Say, Shebi, I don't they tell you. I don't they tell you. Hit her on the shoulder. If you want to remove her wig, remove the wig, just to make sure she gets the message. Be present, be seen, show up, let your partner see you. You want to be married, but you are hidden. I want to be married, but you're always in your house. You are not social. You don't go to events. Come, let's meet together. In a meeting like this, you just say, God, when women are greeting you, instead of relating well with women, I beg God, this one, men no even dey here safe. Every woman here is a gate to a man that can marry you. You are missing a great opportunity. You want a woman to market you, behave well. You want a woman to market you to a boy. Every woman here has a young man in her office, has a young man in her family, has a young man connected to her friend. Somebody here can market you, but your attitude stinks. You speak in tongues, but your attitude is appalling. Help me touch your sister. Say, Pastor is talking to you. I am all right. So number one of the things that reduces your attraction power is your unavailability. Number two, accessibility. That you are available doesn't mean you are accessible. How many times have you gone to a jewelry store? Those of you that have gone to buy jewelries, am I correct? Have you noticed that there are jewelries they put on display, you can touch them, right? But then when you are coming to things like jade, amethyst, when you are talking about topaz, chrysolite, beryl, diamonds, that one, it's available. You can see it through the glass, but you can't touch it. Am I correct? Help me touch your sister. Say, break the glass. Break the glass. You are available, but you are not accessible. We won't greet you. Now, so you go raise face. You are always angry, always unhappy, always staccato. We talk to you small. Thank you so much. Where are you in a rush going to? Hang around. Let us play together. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'm going somewhere. Hey, you know, I don't have time. Where are you rushing to? Empty house. You are alone in an empty house. Always in a rush. Sit back. Play around. Hug all the mummies here. You never know who is their son. You don't know who is their brother. Hug them. Mommy, can I carry your bag? When you are not married, you should serve a Naomi. Please help me touch that woman. She's getting angry at me. Tell her that sorry, it's not you he's talking to. You are not accessible. You are available. Hello, did you see Sister Rachel? I saw her. She came into the fellowship. But you know her now. Now so she go enter. Now so she go come out. She be like wind. Somebody's name has just been mentioned. So like a wind. And let me say this, next to God, you need human beings in your life. Lack of progress is usually as a result of lack of interaction. And when you are too full of yourself, you will not see a need for people. One attitude you need to deal with is that of being accessible. Your husband is seeing you like this in the house. You are in the house, so you are in the bed. The man wakes up. He remembers how you will talk. He remembers the look you will give him. Himself, his great-grandfather, all of them trying to touch you. But when they remember how you will insult them, the man will endure until morning. That's if a man that Jesus has taken over his heart. Because in our world today, no man has time for that kind of patience anymore. Because what you are making expensive is very cheap now. Please help me tell the woman around you, everything is cheap now. Everything is cheap now. Everything is cheap now, madam. And as a Jesus woman, you know your own is just the normal one you have. We have the ones that they are VVL, VVC, VVG. They are plenty and they are cheap. In Gwarimpa here, hello ma, women are as cheap as 2,500 naira. 2,005 in Galadima village. We go to pull them out from there. 2,005. On the streets in Abuja here, women are as available as 5,000 naira. What you are making expensive has become cheap. Accessibility. Number 3, likability. You want to be attractive, be likable. Have a pleasant attitude. A woman said to me, said, Reverend Sam, for almost 6 months now, my husband has not touched me. And I called the husband and said, why you have a, if you see this woman, beautiful woman. He said, Pastor, he said, my wife is beautiful. He said, but her mouth is bad. He said, sir, he said, when I'm close to my wife in bed, he said, there are things my wife will say. He said, Pastor, instantly I will have immediate impotence. Immediately, so I will lose my potency. Just once see, you said, so why are you rushing around me like that? What's in the worry? Likability. So you are available, you are accessible. It's just that when we now get close to you, you are not likable. Your words are not kind. Your behavior, it sucks. The way you look at people is as if you made them. Attitude. Attitude. Number 4, because of my time. Responsibility. One of the major reasons why women attraction power is very low these days is that, let me say this, the world has suddenly changed and there's what we call diffusion of culture. Follow me, let me share this with you. I hope you know that Nigerians who have gone abroad are sending messages back home about what new marriage looks like. Yes, in Nigeria, it is a responsibility of the man to provide. Am I correct? But when you get to America, you get to the UK, you get to Canada, sit down and say it's the responsibility of the man to provide. In UK, Canada, everybody is a what? Is a provider. So gradually that is coming here. So young people now, let me share with you, sisters. I was talking to a lady yesterday. I said to her, she called me all the way from Qatar, and she's from Kenya. Beautiful girl. Listen to what she said. She said, Reverend Sam, I host a singles program every Saturday. So she joined me and she said, I want to talk with you. She said, sir, I was online when you were teaching on Saturday. She said, I was the lady that told you that I attract pilots, I attract engineers, CEOs of companies. She said, sir, but I don't know why they don't stay. Ask her one simple question. I said, sorry ma, what do you do for a living? She said, I'm just doing some little menial jobs. I said, okay. I said, what is your highest qualification? She said, I stopped at secondary school. I said, madam, there's a reason high flyers don't settle with people that don't add value. So ask her, I said, madam, apart from your body and your beauty, I said, apart from your breasts and your bum bum, I said, what else do you bring to the table? I say, if these are the things you are bringing, I say, I want to say this to you. If what everybody has is what you bring to the table, what makes you stand out? The new currency is that men are looking, how responsible will she be? Men are thinking of some things now. Young men, I talk with them. I'm mentoring a set of young men from age 30 to 45. To help them get ready for marriage. And I asked them a question. I said, why are you not married? They said, sorry sir, we are always thinking about one thing. What if I am incapacitated and I'm unable to provide for my family? Can this woman lead my business? Number two, can she provide for my children? Will the standard of living of my children drop? So there's so much people are looking for now, more than just I am beautiful. Presentability. Presentability. You need to walk. I beg, Joy, does it really matter? Madam, it matters. How you present yourself matters now. In a packaging generation, it matters how you present yourself. This generation is aesthetically driven. People buy what they see. It matters. If you are married, it matters what you wear in the night. It matters. You can't appear in the night and make a man be afraid thinking he saw an angel. And you don't want to be like my wife in the first 3 months of our marriage. I mean, I have waited no sex before marriage, man. No sex before marriage, because I was waiting for this important day. And then we now got married. This thing has traumatized me. I'm trying to play. Let God heal me from trauma. You know, this is a generation, everything is trauma now. So me too, I was traumatized. And I'll tell you what traumatized me. In the night, I went personally to Wuse, so I have taken it upon myself to be the one that buy lingerie for my wife. It's a special grace I have, I'm telling you. It's, oh God. Victoria's Secret knows that. It's not, listen, it's not a secret to Victoria's Secret. Sometimes when I enter the place, the women are looking at me, you know, because most times it's dominated by whites. So they're like, where is this black kid coming from? And I will go from the best of the best. And then when I'm done, I'll say, is this all? And you're like, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sure you've seen the price. I said, I'm Asking you, is this all? I bought 3-piece nightgown, transparent one, because Shalekom Sefarata. Listen, the Bible says when Jesus said it is finished, the veil was torn into two, giving us access now to where, ma? The holy of what? Let me tell your neighbor, say, let the veil be torn. Stop wearing veil to your husband. Stop wearing veil. You are not a priest. You are not a the way some of you are looking at me, it's like I would disappear from here. I'm telling you, my time is up. You can't tell me no. You are not the one that gave me time. Oh. I'm a village man. The only opportunity I have to come to the city, you now want me to misbehave. Watch this, and I'm closing with this. When we got married, I buy this 3-piece night transparent gown for my wife to wear. I mean, beautiful lingerie, solid G-string. I used to make a joke. I said, there's a reason they call it, I said, sweetheart, there's a reason they call it G-string. I said, it's God strings. Is that okay? But guess what my wife would do? When it's night, my wife will leave all of them. My wife go and wear one khaki knicker. You are laughing about my trauma. It's a trauma. Thank you for praying for me. Thank you so much. It's a painful thing, very painful. I'm sorry, she was supposed to be here today, but she didn't know. I told her late, so she couldn't pick up with my pace. My wife will wear knicker brown. Now, inside the knicker, there's pants. So, and I'm watching her doing it, and I'm like, Jesus, my future is finished. Every vision I have for that night, gone. I don't need to be told there's no way tonight. As you are seeing me dress, you know it's finished. So now make matters worse, my wife will not put belt. I'm telling you what happened in Oye's house. So one day, something happened. I was boiling, but you see, God has taught me something. Always turn a challenge to a research. I don't react, I research. So I said to myself, why will a woman be behaving like this? So I went online, and we didn't have this fast internet, so it was work. And then I got to discover something. So one night, I called my wife at about 12 in the night. I woke her up. I said, sit down. I said, I need to share something with you about my childhood. I went through some challenges when I was growing up. These are the challenges I went through. I was practicing what I read. I said, so these are the challenges I went through growing up. I said, but by the grace of God, now God is helping me. I'm growing out of it and all of that. And I said to her, is there anything I need to know about your childhood? That's when my wife told me that when they were very small, that the stepmother had her brother come to their house. And the brother will always come in the night when everybody's sleeping. He will push through the door and come to where my wife and her younger sister are sleeping. And then he will want to start fumbling with my wife's younger sister. When they got to realize, they told the stepmom, and that one turned it against them. So they knew that they were on their own. From that moment, anytime my wife wants to sleep, they will wear knicker and wear something under and wear on top and belts. Are you seeing what I'm talking about here? And then my wife said they will lock the door, then they will carry chair and put at the back of the door. I then noticed that anytime I just step out of my house, just to go out, maybe to see a friend off, before I come back, my wife has locked the door. My mind just went, oh, this woman is dealing with a trauma. I didn't know what to tell her because there was no trauma teaching a lot around that period. I didn't know what to tell her, but God just gave me some right words. I look at her, I say, sweetheart, look at me. I say, next to God, I vow to protect you for the rest of my life. That was all I said. And that was what did it. From the next day, I saw my wife walking naked inside the house. I said, Jesus, is this a mistake? Am I talking to somebody in the house of God here? Presentability. You can't show up before the king. If you value your husband, you can't show up before him looking like somebody who does not honor him. Before it is approached, it must be desired. The question is, how desirable is it? And don't forget that treating a man with honor is not about the man. Please don't miss that. It's about the office he occupies. You don't like the president or you like the president, it really doesn't matter. If you are going to meet the president in his office, whether you like him or not, you honor his office. Office is different from person. Husband is an office. Sam is a name. Sam is the name of the person. But this man occupies the office of a husband in the house where Mary is a wife. That office was not instituted by my father or our father. It was instituted by God. A dishonor to that office is a dishonor to God. That was why Abigail was married to a fool and she treated him with honor to his death. Listen, I want to talk to you about how to retain your husband, how to retain men. But my time is up, so I will honor the time. I will see you again and not. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm just looking at my time now, so I'll work on something very quickly. So let's work on this very quickly because I think you need to have this. How do you increase your retention power? Because many have captured, singles have captured men, they've lost them. I don't know, anytime the man comes, he leaves. And then we have women too who are married, but they've not been able to keep the man. I don't know why I'm always losing my husband. I will tell you why women lose what they call their retention power. Number one is conversation and communication. Poor conversation and communication. This can take us the whole day, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Please write this down. It must be mind over mouth, not mouth over mind. When you want to talk to a man, make sure your mind is over your mouth. Not that your mouth is sitting on top of your mind. Not that you are talking without thinking. When you are talking to a man, you think before you do what? Before you Talking to a man is a different ball game. We call it gender communication. There's a way to talk to a man totally different from talking to a woman. For instance, you don't preface a conversation when you are talking to a man. The brain of a man can handle it. How do you preface a conversation? Good morning, sweetheart. Can we talk, please? Please, sorry, sweetheart. I would like us to see very soon. I want us to discuss very important things. See, don't do that to a man. If the man can escape before that time, he will escape. You play a man into a conversation. You don't invite him into a conversation. All right, so let's go straight to, stop prefacing your conversation. What does that mean? You want to talk to a man. Sorry for what I'm about to tell you. I don't know how you are going to take it. I just felt I should just say ahead of time. Don't feel bad for what I'm about. What is all those prefacing? What are they for? You want to tell me something? Tell me what it is. And in talking to a man, be brief and straight to the point. Is that okay? Declare the outcome. Let him ask you for explanation. Oh, but Pastor Sam, my husband likes explanation. There are some men like that because they were over-mothered and under-fathered. A man who was raised by a woman in the absence of by a woman in the absence of a man will always proceed in the path of conversation like a woman. But a normal man raised by a man, you go straight to sweetheart. I just want to tell you that I'm just and let me say this: be careful of the word you tell. Is that okay? The moment you use the word tell to a man, be careful of what comes after. Otherwise, you are going to make the ego of the man to go on the defense. Be careful of what comes after. Because the man doesn't like you to instruct him. He likes you to suggest. So suggest, don't instruct. Suggest, don't instruct. No, Reverend Sam, you know me, my own is black and white too. I say it as it is. I drop it hot. That's who I am. He knows what he marries, so he should handle it like that. No, ma. The beautiful thing about the entire universe is that there's nothing that cannot be changed. Am I talking to somebody in the house of God? Everything can be improved upon, including how you talk. And by the way, the higher your husband goes, the more you should improve on your conversation. He cannot be treated as a treasure in the office and you treat him like a trash at home. So many things are just running through my mind, but I just need to get out of this. So if we are going to retain, make sure that your mind is over your mouth. Think before you talk. Think before you talk. Number 2, sustain a positive attitude even in negative situation. Positive attitude in negative situation. Learn grace under pressure. The man just lost his job. Be careful how you handle him when he loses his job. Please write this down. Men are always observant of how you treat them in the lowest moment of their lives. Men don't forget how you treat them in the lowest moments of their lives. The beautiful thing about men is that any man that is still alive, no matter what condition he's in, always remember this: if the man is still alive, God still has a plan to lift him up. So mind how you treat him when he's in the lowest moment of his life, because men don't forget how you treat them in the worst moment of their lives. Let me give you this one before I move. Move from emotional immaturity to maturity. Stop being a girl at 45. Stop being what? A girl at 45. Stop being a girl at 50. Develop some emotional maturity. Stop throwing tantrums. The man just did something you are not happy with. Hello, sweetheart, how are you? Thank you. It must be permanent. It must be permanent. What the Lord has done for me. I have a great future. God has a plan for my life. No matter what the enemy is doing, God will take. Who are you singing to? Who are you sending message to? Hello, ma. At this age, 45, 40, 35. Sweetheart, please, can we talk? I just want to let you know how I feel. Yesterday when you spoke, I understand you were trying to express yourself, but you truly hurt me. I felt so bad. I'm not very sure if you truly intended to say what you said, but it came really bad at me. I didn't feel good about it, and I thought I should just tell you. And maybe I should ask you, when you said yesterday that I'm stupid, did you really mean that I am stupid? Are you planning to clap or you are clapping? Hello. I wish we can deal with a lot of things. We call them counterintuitive approach to relationship. Most of us are structured. You see what has been recycled? The way mommy normally react, the way aunties normally react, the way sisters normally react, which caused them the problem they had in their marriage, is the same way you two are reacting, which is causing you your own problem in marriage. There must be a breakaway from the past. Pattern must not continue. It is very true that a man can look at you and say, get out of my house, it doesn't necessarily mean he means it. That is the highest expression he could make at such a moment under pressure. The best way to get at him is to come back later and say, sweetheart, do you really mean I should get out? If he says yes, sometimes you still don't hold on to that. Get some of the most reasonable people, because it could still be boiling. There are people that boil for a long time. Have you noticed something about a stove and a gas cooker? When you quench a stove, almost within a short time, it becomes cold, right? But a gas cooker takes a longer time. There are people like that. All right, so let me say this to you. I'm going to do this in 30 minutes and I will get it done. There are little foxes you must deal with now in order for your marriage or relationship, married or single, to work. Number one, write this one down. Deal with the little fox of your past experiences and pain. Past experiences and pain. The time has come to revisit where you are coming from. Who touched you first? Let me give you a practical example so that you get the message clear. So I have this pastor. He got married. A nice man of God. He got married. And as soon as he got married, one day he called me. And he said, Pastor, barely 3 months after I called me, he said, Pastor, there's trouble. Oh. I said, what is it? He says, if you don't step in, something will happen. Oh. I may go and commit sin. I said, you can't do that. He says, I'm telling you the truth. I said, what's the problem? And he said to me, he says, my wife. He says, sir, if I'm trying to touch my wife would just withdraw her body. He said, even in the night when she's sleeping, if I mistakenly touch her, my wife will withdraw her body. So you know what I did? I called him. I called the wife. I said, don't worry, sir, let me call your wife. I called the wife and I said, ma'am, can we get to talk? I said, is it true that when your husband wants to touch you? She said, me? So is your husband lying? She said, sir, I can't remember that. I can't. Me, he's touching me. At that moment, I quickly understood that it's a subconscious reaction. Immediately, I asked her one question. I said, ma'am, can you remember anything that happened between age 9 and 15? That's how she broke down and began to cry. I said, what is it, ma? She said she had an uncle who came into their house and started raping her from 9 until 16. I'll take you to the next level. Follow me carefully. She said she told her mother the first time he did it, and the mother said she's the one seducing her brother. So she said, mommy, you know what she said? She said, if my mother cannot believe me, how can I even tell my husband? I said, okay, because she mentioned that, I wanted to find what is the connection with her husband. All right? I said, can you give me an understanding? Normally we look for landmarks. Those who are into therapy know what I'm talking about. So I said, can you tell me some of the things you remember about this uncle? Can you remember his face? What do you remember about him? She says that one thing I can't forget about him is the blue shirt he always comes with. Blue shirt. Guess what was her husband's favorite shirt? We are in church. You don't know what we are carrying. You don't know where many of us are coming from. You don't know why many of us are behaving the way we are behaving. You don't know what some of us have gone through. At that moment, I immediately noticed it. That this was a connection. That whenever the husband wears a blue shirt, it triggers subconsciously the memory of what happened. So she becomes defensive. So at that moment, I told her, I said, look, I understand where your pain is coming from. I said, your husband needs to see me. So we called each other together, shared the story with him. And I said, sir, for now, I encourage you, sir, to stop wearing blue shirts until she's healed. Don't be the trigger of her pain. While she's trying to heal, don't trigger the memories of her past. And that's how God opened the door for them. They have children who are grown-ups now and all of that. Doing very well almost after 20 years of being married. I'm talking about memories of the past. Heartbreaks heartbreaks that still makes it difficult for you to trust anybody. Memories of what some people did to you in the past that has made you not to always want to respect anybody, including your husband. Such that whenever you are looking at him, including me now, you are looking at me. All these men, I am not one of them. Because what happens to pain is that it categorizes. It brings everybody into the same mix. All these women, all these church women, I know them. You only had an experience with one, maybe 5, maybe 10. And let me say this. You had experience with some bad people in the past, 5 of them, 100 of them. Let me say this. It's an unfortunate thing. It's painful. And if you truly need healing, you have leaders in the house who can walk you through the process. And there are so many other people around town who can be of help to you. But let me beg you, don't allow your experience with 100 people make you make conclusion on over 7 to 8 billion people. We are not the same. So there are reasons why some of us behave the way we behave, and past experience is one of them. Your past experience. Mephibosheth was dropped. When he was dropped, he became crippled, and then the Bible said David sent for him. Come into my temple, come into my palace. And he was brought into the palace. You know what he calls himself? A dead dog. You are in the palace where your life is being changed, but he sees himself as a dead dog. Come and eat on my table. Mephibosheth will not come. Because although he's been brought out of his past has not been brought out of him. I'm working with women at every level of society today. Women who have their money, they have their cars, who run companies, multinationals, and yet they are dealing with issues from when they were 12 years old. I'm telling you that. They go to church, they pray, but let me say this to you. Prayer addresses matters of the spirit and matters outside of the spirit, outside of the body. But when it comes to the mind, it must be renewed. The challenge with the church in Nigeria today is that one of our major challenges is that we are becoming hyper spiritual and we're not giving attention to the state of our minds. So there are battered pastors who are battering people. There are traumatized pastors who are traumatizing people. I was training a school, one of the biggest schools in Abuja here. I was training their staff, their teachers on Friday, a very big school. The hall packed with teachers. And I asked them a question, because there are complaints that the teachers there normally insult the students. And I asked them a question, and the owner of the school was there. I said, when you were being employed, I said, did anybody run any personality profile on you? He said, no. The only thing they check is, can you teach? Who is the teacher? A raped teacher. Who is the teacher? Somebody from a dysfunctional family. Somebody that the father abandoned. Somebody that struggled through life is now in a class, seeing a child that is well pampered, well cared for, saying, auntie, can you tell me why? And the next thing you get is a slap. Is she slapping the child or reacting to her pain? She's reacting to her pain. So some of our behaviors, where are they coming from? Your past. It's time to go back to where you come from. Don't think that the way your father treated your mother, the way you didn't like it, don't think it has no effect on you. It does. I watched my father slap my mom. I mean, I was there. I saw my father slapping my mom. Any angle he could use to give her a slap, my father did. I was saying, Daddy, stop it. And he slapped me. It got me out of the equation. I said, Father, please show me the secret of a happy marriage. I said, show me how to treasure a woman, how to honor a woman. I said, Lord, I don't want to treat a woman like this for the rest of my life. It's over 23 years today. Never a day raised my hand on my wife. Never a day call my wife, curse her with a name or something like that. No. And let me say this, it did not happen by accident. It happened by remembering where I came from and making up my mind that I will not be like that. Don't ignore where you come from. Apples don't fall too far from trees that bear them. Daughters will face the devils that their mothers did not conquer. One of the major causes of breakdown in marriage is an attitude and behavior that most men can't stand. Control and manipulation. Control. No man likes to be controlled. No man likes to be controlled. The best language to use for a man is to suggest to him. Dominating a man is what a man will resist. A man hates it when he's being dominated. He hates it when he's being controlled, either through fear, either through sex, either through any means. A man doesn't like control. And God did not create a woman to control a man. God blessed the woman with the gift of influence, not control. Master how to use influence, not control. That was why Esther is different from Vashti. They all sat on the same throne but behaved differently. Same throne but behaved differently. They were all queens. One lasted, the other did not. The difference between the two was behavior. One lost her throne because of an arrogant behavior. Husband was having an event for the nation. You decided to do your own. And the elders of the nation said, no, if we allow this kind of behavior, this nation will be completely wiped out. Let's not condone this. They told the king, sir, we are demanding that your wife no longer be your wife. And he had no choice. He had to let her go. We will choose who your next wife will be. And when Esther came, please look up here, I want to share this with you. When Esther came and they put her on the throne, the Bible says Mordecai called and said, hey Esther, he said, go tell your husband, tell him that there's a need for him to do this and this and that and that. I know what she said. She said, sir, it is not lawful for me to appear before my husband. That I'm his wife doesn't mean I should show up before him anyhow. I discern times and seasons to show up before my husband. I understand the protocol of honor. My husband doesn't know God. It's not a man of prayer. But that I know God doesn't mean I despise him. It's called the protocol of access and it's called the code of honor. How can a woman say to other people, can you fast and pray for 3 days just for me to talk to my own husband? Fast and pray. Influence. And look at what she did. Instead of going to the husband and say, hey, sweetheart, we need to talk. Are you aware? No, she said, sir, I just want to have a special banquet for you tonight. Would you consider coming? That's not the real subject. Would you consider coming to my banquet tonight? And the husband was like, why not? I will come. On a day she's supposed to die, she lived. And the husband came to the banquet. When he came to the banquet, I don't know what Esther put together, please. I don't know what Esther put together for her husband to eat. A man finished eating, not having sex. And he said, to the third of my kingdom, this treatment, I have never seen it before. To the third of my kingdom, I will give to you. Please imagine that banquet. A banquet a woman can use to secure kingdom. Imagine it. He said, what else do you want? Wisdom. She said, no, my lordship, my honor. I'm a daughter of Abraham, of Sarah. We call husbands Lord. We call husbands Lord. So my Lord, I'm thinking that you will come. You like what I just did today? I think we can do another one again tomorrow. And by the way, my Lord, I'm thinking that so that this thing can reach out to as many people, let Haman, so that we can express this generosity to more people. Let Haman come in, sir. By wisdom is a house. A wise woman, a foolish one. Go away from the presence of a foolish man or woman when you can't perceive the lips of knowledge in them. My Lord, sir, would you consider coming back again tomorrow for another sumptuous meal? And the man said, who wouldn't come for this kind of a thing? And the man, he came. And when they were having conversation again, he has eaten and all of that. And then he was asking, what else you? And the man, she said to him, she said, sir. And that was when she brought in the case of Haman. Look at how she cared strategically, systematically. Look at how she brought the case of Haman into the matter. Look at how she set Haman up for his own downfall. Come on, am I talking to you, please? Please help me touch your neighbor. Say, change. I bet, madam, now you got to talk to change. Hello, sweetheart. I want to talk to you. How are you? You see that thing, It's today. We will do it today. I'm just hearing about, is this how to talk? Is the Bible not coming into you? Where is the influence of the scriptures in your life? And look at the wisdom with which she used to get Haman to be hanged. Am I correct, ma? Please, ma, you will think that when Haman was hanged, you would think that Esther would stop there. Esther said, wait a minute. If I only get rid of Haman, his sons will be there. Our kingdom, in fact, there will be trouble in this kingdom because they will be reacting to the pain of the loss of their father. She said, my job is not finished. A wise woman who can see far. She got again to the king. Your lordship, how are you? Plus bedroom and boardroom. She was combining bedroom, boardroom, and food room. She was mixing all of them together. Excellence everywhere. She was breaking barriers everywhere. Bedroom, the man can't forget her. Boardroom, he can't forget her. Food room, he can't forget her. She said, sorry, sir. The sons of Haman. He said, no problem. Hang all of them. Then she now said, sorry, sir. The house that Haman left, it will be vacant too. There's this uncle I have. He has done well for you before. His name is Mordecai. So he served your government. He was the one that actually made sure they didn't kill you. Really? Say, what has been done for him? Say, sir, I've not done anything for him, sir. Say, sir, the donkey of Mordecai, let Haman drive him through the city. She plotted that. She brought Mordecai from outside the gate into the city. She was the one that plotted the way for Mordecai to become the next in command to the king outside of Esther. Wisdom. You are too aggressive. You don't get attention by aggression. Affection is the answer. Thank you so much.